Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's reading is a little look at the theme you are both playing out together. I think that people get drawn towards tarot because you can sort of see archetypes and themes playing out and you can identify with them. And I think that is basically what it's there for. So let's have a look. Your first choice is going to be the blue ball with the orange flower, dried flower in there. I don't know, I'm holding them up. I'm going to leave them there. The second choice is the purple ball with the dried something in there. I don't know what these flowers are. This one looks like a little rose, but it's pink ball with a pinkish rose type thing in there. I'm trying to make it look at you, but it's not. Anyway, those are the choices you've got. If you want to take your choice, and then we'll get started.
La música de Harry Fraud.
Okay, pile number one. This has got, just pull my polar neck from over my mouth. This has got a feeling of a fight with rationale. Is that a correct word? Rationale. Rational thoughts and attraction and passion. It's like somebody or two people possibly who have played the game of being sensible, weighing up very in a very mature way pros and cons, and then almost like the devil on your shoulder is like nipping in, but what if you could do this? And this seems to be for the pair of you. What if you took this route? What if you went down this path? And it's almost like I dare you type of feeling going along here, as in you're saying it to yourselves. I dare you, see what happens. I'm talking to the camera here, which I can see at the side of me. She's got the cards on. It's like, see what happens. And in that is, I think, a lot of learning about yourself. So the theme is what is the main question here. So it's not so much predicting what's going to happen. And to be honest, this one feels a bit like a open book because your N2 cards are Aquarius, Uranus. Let me just put some more cards out. There's also a feeling here of a mixture of fantasy, indecision coming from them. You probably quite enjoying the emotional connection from you, and just it's a feeling of wait and see. But deep down inside yourselves, neither of you want to wait and see. Both of you want to be what I would say could be termed in the outside world as assertive, foolhardy, that type of thing. That type of thing. And in learning to do that, there feels like, and I don't know where I'm getting the word balance from. I don't know if I had the mic on. I may have just pulled that out by foot then. But let me just keep going. There is a feeling here of pushing boundaries inside yourself, trying to find some sort of, it's almost like you've both tried to find something that pushes you up against a wall in a way, and you're wondering whether there's a way around the wall. And would you normally take that 10 years ago, 20 years ago? The answer is probably no. Would you take it now? You're questioning it. There's a huge amount of awakening to your mental processes there, and this is like all going on inside yourselves. Meeting somebody, like you get that eros psyche feeling that you're pulled towards, and it sort of gives you that a passion for life, and that, but it's a connection between the pair of you at the same time. You've got the Two of Cups, you've got the King of Wands as the theme. So that's attraction that takes you outside your usual rational mind, I would think here, because the Knight of Swords over here is fighting with the Knight of Swords over here, which is your person. So your person's probably quite sweet-natured, can have what I would say with a Neptune there, a tinge of fantasy in how they live their life. There's like optimism, hope, maybe a little bit dreamy in some ways. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, your person would take the sensible option. But they don't know what to do. There's something in this they don't know what to do. There is a feeling here, this is like the setup here, and you've got somebody getting one over the other, which comes up because you've got the 7 in here too. Yeah, with you. It's like, do you know what it feels like? You know those old-fashioned like Tom and Jerry films when they sneak up to the window and they take the pie, and there's like a lady cooking the pie in the kitchen. And there's always like some singing and something. You see him sneaking up, and I think it's in A Brother Where Art Thou as well, where somebody sneaks up and takes a pie. It's like, come on, sneak up and take the pie type of feeling in this one. But both of you are being thrown back onto your own morals, mind processes, what you think is right, what you think is wrong, and why do you think that? Why do we all have certain mental boundaries in certain places, and what we do think is right or what we do think is wrong? Where do we get that from? I'm watching a programme at the moment, I'll say it quickly because this is about me and not about you, on, I can't remember the name of it, it's like it's an Australian series about a guy, it's very raw, it's quite hard, who was, grew up in a rough household. And it is absolutely fascinating. And he goes and basically, he's a bit like Leon, he goes up and he kills people. In its second series now, I think, and to me, I can't take my eyes off it. Just the way that he works through what he does and how hard he is inside, but you can see there's bits inside him that have learnt to be that hard, if you know what I mean, from his childhood. And I don't know much about his childhood yet. The last program I watched was talking about it, but the reason that I'm saying that is when we have opinions and thoughts about people, or thoughts about what you think is right for yourself or what you think is right in relationships, it's like you two are being thrown back to re-question where you have got so far with those and why are they there. And we're so adamant, aren't we, that we're correct, that this should be this and this should be that. And most of it is from our parents. A lot of it is from people that we've grown up with, and the other half is from deep inside ourselves, maybe from past lives, but we can't stick too stiffly to those. I mean, we do, but we can't do it. And I'm wondering whether this relationship is throwing both of you back on what you think is right and what you think is wrong. Because it almost feels a bit, because you've got the 7 of Swords here, and you've got cards here which are quite tricky with regards to the setting, and then your like problem and resolution, because it is like a bit of a story theme to me here, is the Fool and the Star, which are very Uranus. It's like throw it up in the air and see what falls, and don't use the tried and tested with these 2 cards here. Understand yourself, both of you understand yourself totally, who you are, what you want, why you judge, what you judge, what you think is right and wrong, and how long have you got left to get out of life what you really want out of it. Oh, this is quite a big one. Let me put a few more cards over this. This has got a fantastic feel about it. And I don't know, I can't explain why. I think it is because there's obviously the 2 of Cups and the King of Wands here. There's attraction here, and there is probably what I would say a real humping up of a strong desire nature, which you may have both forgotten about for a while, and it comes back in and it questions what you want. Is that wrong? You know, what is, you know, what are these cards doing here? Why have you got the 7 of Swords here and the full moon? What do you perceive as being sneaky, or what do you perceive in this relationship as being a challenge, or what do you perceive in this relationship of one of you having to lose something or let something go, or somebody else surrounding this relationship? My candle's talking to me. It's like a matchstick graveyard in there, isn't it? I put them in and they burn my fingers off, so I just leave them in there. But you have got a strong pull here. This is when I always think that life is like a movie. It's like if we could see ourselves and what we're doing, we would probably laugh, even though it's not funny at the time. it's almost like instinctual, isn't it? You know, you meet that somebody and you're looking at them and you know who they are and you can feel it, and you can feel it inside your body. It isn't just like a recognition you're every day meeting somebody, but they change you inwardly. And it's not the type of person, probably with these two cards here, that you can't forget. But most of the time, the nicest souls, both of you function in a way that's like looking at yourself. It's that you function in a way that is normally, okay, I can judge that, I can do that, I'm really straight. People may even come to you too for advice, as in like, what decision should I make? Because I know that you would choose the correct path or the correct decision, and it would be sensible and measured, and it would take everybody else into account until you met this person. You're like, hey, I'm going to do what I want. And this is almost indicating for you to understand why you have made these decisions before, what are they based on, and I've said it all. So it's basically looking inside yourself, and I don't know what from these the outcome would be, because it's like the Star and the Fool card to me to have as your problem and your resolution are look inward, understand the game you're playing. Understand the Fool with a star at the end to me is like the Fool is raw energy. It's like energy almost before it's formed. It's like wild and cold. Then you get the Star card here, which is more understanding, more knowing. So what are your basic instincts, which you're looking at here with regards to your mental processes, you know, your instincts, and how do you function? And then the Star card here is like, well, you've been on your journey so far. What are you going to do about it now? Here's somebody you find attractive. It may be difficult to get to them. There may be little bits in the way. How are you going to function through that? It's a bit like, and your person to me over here feels like they're doing what I would say a lot of fantasizing, projecting in a nice way, and then trying to pull back and say, okay, let's just sort this out in my head. Let's not be silly. I think that you feel that you've met somebody who you feel that if they weren't here, you would lose the other half of yourself. I'm not saying it's in a big way. It's probably not that dramatic, but the little girl here looking at herself in the mirror is like decisions, and you're both like indecisive. This card and this card is indecisive. Yours is more emotional, there is more fantasy based. And I feel that you're ready to do something that is stealing the pie. I don't know what I mean there, but stealing the pie is all I can think about. You may work together. You may have spent a long time together. This may be a process that has been going on a long time, as in if you believe in past lives, that may be something. Somebody pops up and that's instant recognition of knowing them. You play the game and you've probably repeated it, which, you know, I think we do over and over again. And this is a bit I never really understand. Deep down inside myself, I think that we play almost the same note in every, well, probably the ones we remember, or the ones we can identify. Yeah, maybe not. I just think that a lot of lives that we are in touch with are very, very similar patterns to the lives that we are in now. And I don't know, I just wonder. And whether you've had this pattern, as I said, this theme repeated over and over again, where you have to judge what you actually want, not what society wants, not what you've been brought up to believe, not what your parents would judge as correctly, not what your spouse, even if you've had spouse or have still got spouse, because you've got cards here of what are stealing pies, how would they judge you? It's more like you're a grown person. What do you want now? And not to... These cards here, the Fool and the Star card here, could indicate, and that's the problem, that's the resolution. The problem could be quick actions, foolish actions, immediate, spontaneous, impulsive actions. But the Knight of Pentacles here is like, take it steady, weigh it up, and then do what you know is the correct thing for you. Yeah, it feels like one of those, and it doesn't have to be a past life connection, as I know that is sort of getting into... sometimes you repeat things and you hear them in tarot, you hear them in astrology, and they can be they can be overused, I suppose. But there's definitely a vibration there, I guess, from this person that feels familiar to you, and it's the mixture between optimistic, hopeful, but realistic. That you both tend to, it's like two dreamers that function very well in the everyday life, meeting each other. So the theme, I guess, from this pile in your relationship is one of attraction and passion and questioning who you are and where you sit and how far you're going to go, even if there is a slight feeling here that you could, if you acted foolishly, ostracize yourself from a group situation. You have that, that sort of like being pulled from your base chakra type of feeling, and you're outside the clan. But you've got to, in a very steady, very sort of knowing why you've got morals and why your mind works in a certain way, understand that if you're outside of your clan, maybe they weren't your clan in the first place. Does that make sense? Unless you're vibrating to your true self, you will automatically move away from people who don't have the same vibration. And I know, and I always think when I go into like, when I start talking about things like this, it can get a little bit, I'm going to say misty, and I quite like things that are straight, even though I'm not straight. I like things that are straight. When you hum to your own beat, you tend to pull people who accept you. I'll put it in that way, who accept you for who you are. And then people that don't like it, or with people that wouldn't approve of this relationship, or you don't approve of it yourself, but you've just got to sort yourself out to know what you want. That type of thing is what I've got here. So the theme has got what is one of steady understanding to do with desire and passion and attachment, choosing a route that is true to yourself. You two being very similar with regards to being steady, intellectual, but also a dreamy, emotional side in the pair of you. So I think that you've identified with each other big time. There are some hurdles to come. Take them steady, but make sure that by taking them steady, you don't lose your fire. You don't lose the attachment, that you end up doing what you would want to look back on in 20, 30, 40, 50 years and say, I did what I wanted to do with that person. I know I went down my path, nobody else's path, even if you do end up stealing a pile too. Okay, pile number 1, that's what I've got there. Yeah, that's to me what it is, because there's attraction here. There's what I would say a strong intellectual connection between the pair of you, and I think that you function on rationale. I'm going to use that word again. But you almost have to take maybe the dirty, slippery route to get what you want, so your morals are questioned. These cards up here give me an inkling to a setting which indicates having to fight and somebody losing if you get what you want out of the situation. So I don't know what is going on here, and it's asking you to make a change, but make sure it's not a foolhardy change. And in that you will understand the Star card is more of who you are and where you sit, because you're going from the Fool to the Star, which is raw energy without learning the lessons that you're going through to get to the Star. The Star isn't far away from the world, so you should be quite in the know by now of how you function, how this person functions, and where you take your yeses and nos from in life. And you should only take them from yourself and your own experience and from your best self. And so when somebody has a crack at you, you don't really care what they say so much, because you've done it on your own. You've got this far. Their journey's different, and I think that could probably help give both of you a confidence inside yourself anyway with your decisions and who you are. Okay, pile number 1. I'm going to leave you there. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye. It's the first time I think I've waved. Bye. And the theme behind this, let me just start going through it. Pile number 2, I'll go through what I can see, and then we can start trying to put it together. I think that you are somebody who's very perceptive, somebody who's very intellectual, very good with ideas, and can see through situations, tend to know people's basic vibrations, instincts, you know, where they're coming from and where they want to go, and pick that up very easily. It wouldn't surprise me whether you had some sort of I don't know what the words are, psychic sideline, and you know, sort of like you're into that type of thing and you're very good at it. Intuitive would probably be the word I use there, but you've got to use that loosely. I just think you're extremely in the know of what's going on that other people can't pick up. Your person here feels like they have got a different energy to you. It feels like it feels more youthful, and I don't mean that as in like negative towards you at all. It feels more youthful, as in is more probably more outgoing, more easy to get knocked down, more easy. Excuse my bad English. More easily to put themselves into situations where they get knocked back and they hurt, and then they get up and possibly do it again. You've got Chiron here. You've got the Daughter of Fire, and the Daughter of Fire is still young and trying to get on those fiery feet. So somebody who's young that's full of fire tends to be too positive, too optimistic, too wild, too forward. Just learning the lessons on how hot they can burn without getting pushed back. But the Chiron makes me think that this person could have been bruised. So to put that in everyday terms, your person may be an optimistic person, maybe outgoing, but has got some pain inside, or troubles behind, or past loves that hurt, or just going through situations that are tough. But they'll get there. It's just different journeys from the pair of you. It almost feels like you're very empathic. Is that the correct word? Yeah, it is. And this person is a little bit in pain, or you can read something into them that makes you want to help them, because that's what you do. This doesn't feel like, you know, as soon as your word use empath, the narcissist word tends to come with it, doesn't it? I don't feel that your person is like that at all. I just feel they're just finding their feet. Still young at heart, but going through troubled times, or have a history behind them. With regards to how this has built up into the situation that it's in now, it feels like there's a long period of watching, there's a long period of finding the other person attractive, but I don't know why that card is there. Maybe your person struggles with finding themselves attractive. Just a thought there, not a strong feeling inside me, but just a thought. Because you seem to be, it feels to me from these two cards that you don't search to see whether people find you attractive. It's nice when it happens, but it's not like an underlying theme in your life, as in like you spend a lot of the day, or a lot of your thoughts, or it's part of who you are, trying to beautify yourself. It may be, but it's not a theme in your life. But I wonder whether your person with the Chiron on the Fire here is almost testing those, you know, like when some fiery people have a bit of a strut about them. Leo do it, and they've got a look outside their eye to see who's looking at them. I love a Leo strut. Sagittarius just do it, and they're not bothered who's looking at them. They just naturally have what I would say, that verve inside them. Aries, similar to Sagittarius, it just is. It's like they've got that amped up. If energy inside your body makes you, you know, like it's like when you fill a balloon, whether it's one of those like those twisty poppy balloons that you get at parties. If you overfill it, it's like full of life and it's just as rigid. That to me feels like your person, but there could be, you know, maybe they've skipped a loop, skipped a beat, skipped a lesson, and they may be attractive, but I don't know whether they feel it. I don't know this yet. These are just trying to link these cards to these cards, because that's heaviness, but something to do with confidence to me. And I'm thinking, who's got the heavy out of the pair of you? I'm looking at your person with a Chiron here, and it's got something to do with fire. So to me, the fire is, it feels like looks. I don't know. Let me keep going with regards to the theme. There is a feeling here of people, your person, I think you are observing far more. Your person is acting far more. And I think your person may actually give you the cold shoulder at times and then the come on, which would indicate these. It feels like somebody You know when you get up in the morning and a couple of cruddy things happen. I don't know what. I don't know. The fridge is broken. I'm making this up. And some bad news comes through or something, and then you can take you through the whole day, and you have to stop it. Your person feels like they could be rollerblading in some way that could make them feel a bit up and down. One day they're up, fridge is broken. The next day they get I don't know, they win a little bit of money, and they're high and low. I feel that your person isn't even in this, isn't stable, and I think that you end up picking up every vibe, every situation, every high, every low that they go through with these two cards here. So you may have like mixed messages coming towards you in this relationship, and they could hurt at times. And if you are incredibly empathic, even if your person doesn't really fit the bill as a narcissist, you still don't have to play that part where you allow them to play out their life and you've got to sit and watch. You can learn lessons, but you can't get involved, emotionally involved, because you end up almost like swapping places with them, which could be something here. Okay, so once again, the Queen of Cups, which I'm taking as the Watcher. So if you aren't a queen, if you are a queen, you are somebody who reads people very, very well. And I think you're stuck on which way to act, because you're thinking, nice person, why have they just done that? Nice person, why can't they just open up? Nice person, why didn't they want to meet me again? Why didn't they pick the phone up? It's that type of feeling. I don't think you're getting enough information in this to think they don't like you, or that they are a horrible person. It just is somebody who is playing with life themselves and not thinking too much. Seven of Cups. It needs action. It needs this. The theme in here is almost like a fantasy, when you're like watching a fantasy film when you don't want to be, and you're thinking, well, that's a bit messy. Where's EastEnders, or where's something that is just straight? Yeah, you can understand what scene's coming next. You know it all. You can understand the characters, but you're like, hold on, I just want to know where I sit in this relationship. I think you give a lot emotionally. I think that you understand the situation to a T. You don't really need to be watching this to understand the situation. I suppose with regards to advice, with the whole theme here, if it is running hot and cold on you, is to take the reins in this relationship, and don't let the other, because you're ending up with the Chariot card here, which is taking the reins. Don't let this other person play through their ups and downs, and you basically get sucked into, it could be drama, it doesn't feel like it, but into their yeses, nos, maybes. You make your own yeses, no, maybes, and they may come towards you more so with these cards here. It feels to me like you are soft and gentle and psychic. I mean, you've got Psyche here, you've got cups, and you've got here the Mother of Air with the Psyche card. And you understand it all. This to me feels like you've played the whole theme out, the whole scenario, the whole film out in your head many times anyway. But you're asking yourself here, the Seven of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles, what is real? When am I going to get what I could actually say? It's like, if somebody asked you, what's your relationship to this person? Could you say, we have this, we do this? Because this to me feels like you do a lot of the thinking and they do the lot of trying to see where they sit in life. And it comes to a point where the Chariot card needs to be your card. It's like, what are you going to do in life? And that is maybe the theme in this pile number 2, is indecision, wondering, understanding. At some point it has to come to a stop where you say, okay, I'm going to take the reins. This person, by almost being childlike with regards to what they want out of life, doesn't feel awful, even if they have had some struggles, will show you the way with regards to how to stop playing with that yourself. There is a feeling here, and I don't think it applies to any, I don't know, of your person going through tough times and you helping them, with the Four of Cup cards here and the Tower card here, where their confidence probably has been low, where they feel like they've been carrying a lot, and in doing that, you're almost you're with these feelings here of being very internal, you've seeped into their world in some way, and you're wondering what's going to happen next. But this person may actually surprise you with regards to just getting on with it, rather than thinking, okay, I've got a really deep connection here. Just a thought there because of the Fire card here, and you coming across as emotional and internal and understanding. You've got to make a decision to get what you want out of this. And that is a theme here. Hold on. Yeah, it's like there's a feeling here with these two cards. The actions behind this Chariot card is taking the reins, is do it in small ways. It's not like stomp into this person and say, you haven't phoned me for 2 weeks. It's over. It's more a case of sitting down for, I'm making this up, for 20 minutes and deciding what you want out of your life. And that's a really strong, huge question. And if you just say the next 3 months, I would like to do this, be here, do that, that type of thing. You know, even if it's things like you've got 3 things up your sleeve that you want to do, like visit a beach somewhere or start a course or something like that, I would just do it. You've got to find your own feet in this relationship. In the real world, what do you want? Not really sort of second guessing what this other person may come up with next. And there's nothing... Oh, somebody wrote something that really made me laugh in the comment section. It wasn't this, it was funny. It was like, they don't want me and I've never seen anything more attractive or something like that. And there is something in that. And human nature isn't good with regards to why we do that. Perceived value, I think it might be called. But there is that. The moment that it's attractive when people are independent, because if there's a feeling of, I don't think you have this whatsoever, but if there's people do have a feeling of being needy, it's not attractive. It's not attractive. And we all feel like that sometimes. We see something we like and we want it, but there's got to be a case where you think, oh, hold on, forgot who I was for a second. I'm not saying that you do that at all, because there's nothing here that indicates that, but this does indicate taking the reins, doing what you want to do and starting it off slowly. There's a strong theme in here of pulling yourself away from, I'm going to use the word drama here, and I don't mean it, I mean 1% of it, the other person's dramas. What the other person needs, what the other person wants, what they're thinking, what do they find attractive. It's like, okay, who cares? You can read it, and that probably is a gift, that you can understand people and what they're thinking, what their needs are. But you shouldn't, there's no point using it unless it's making you extremely happy, and I think that it's more external things at the moment that are going to make you happy. Use your gifts, even if it's to set up something else. Mind reading, I don't know, caravan or something in the local mall, that type of thing. We don't have malls here, we have shopping centres. Yeah, it is something in the real world. Okay, so the theme of this relationship, pile number 2, has got a feeling of you finding out what you want to happen, not what you can think, what you can perceive, what you can feel. It's what do you actually want to happen? What is real? What have you actually got? It's like, is it 2 birds in your bush? Something like that. It's worth one in your hand. It is something like that. And it is, if it's real, it's worthwhile something. If it's not, keep moving. Do what you want to do until you get something that this person can give you that is concrete. So don't get sucked into any of their dramas. 1% of the word drama is to be used there. I don't think this person has real dramas. I just think they get stuck into things, and they've got their own lessons that they're learning, and you've got to let them learn them on their own. Because you, with this feeling, may want to help. Be there if they want to come and talk to you, but carry on with what you're doing. big time here. Do it. It's not like I'm going to go out and I'm going to set up, what's that, Gillette company. I was so impressed I bought the whole company. And, you know, you don't need to be doing that because you've got the page here, but it's like a slow rumble towards being who you want to be. And that is the theme in here. It's self-empowerment in a long-winded way. In a nice way. Because your person's busy in their own head, doing what they're doing and being themselves and tripping up and standing up, and you can see it all happening. And that may be, as I said earlier, that may be one of your best gifts, that you understand people very well. And even if this person has hurt you, or you feel as if they've rejected you, or they're a bit here and a bit there and a bit nowhere, it's like, who cares, because you're busy doing what you want to do now. So that's what I've got pile number 2 with regards to the theme in this pile. Make it real, make yourself the centre, which sounds selfish, but it often makes people happier, as long as you're not mowing over people, and understand your gifts are there for you to understand and to not actually put yourself in the other person's shoes for too long. Okay, pile number 2. I'm going to leave you there. Thank you very much for sharing some time with me. Bye. There is I don't know what this is actually, but this is what I'm thinking as I'm putting this out. I have changed this number 3 one, haven't I? The last pile I did, I forgot to change number 3. Okay. There's a feeling here of you especially wanting to find a vibrational home. It feels like you've met somebody who feels like kin, or somebody that feels as if you just feel at home with them, and you've got Eros here in the 7 of Fire. To me, I was putting these out, and the words that came to mind were like raging banshee. To have Eros there, which is a rage to live, to me, it's fantastic. I think Eros, out of all the asteroids or planets, is my favourite. It's just that complete verve to grab life and to get some fun out of it, to feel alive. And that, I think, to me, is a bit like the Fool card, because it's the bit that got us here in the first place. And with you with the 7 of Fire here, it's almost like, come on, stop me getting what I want out of life. Your person, as I'm saying about finding a vibrational home, is the 6 of Air with the Sun. I think that they have fought for that feeling too. So I don't know whether... these are thoughts here. I don't know. You have to fit this in with your person's scenario. Whether they had a difficult childhood, fostered, and then ended up finding. And I'm thinking of Fatima Whitbread again, which I think I mentioned in another reading, where she was fostered. Oh my gosh, there's something else in mind as well. Where she was fostered. But comes across as incredibly positive. She, as in fostered through a difficult circumstance, but comes across incredibly positive, and it brought the best out of her. There was something else I was thinking about. It was through that, but I can't remember the details, but it was through tough times that this person's strength came, and the way that they give out, or the way that they shine in the world, is like a moth to the flame for you, because with your Eros and the 7 of Fire here, you would fight tooth and nail to find somebody, which I think you have, who has that feeling of, I know what's going on in the world and I'm giving out. So that's what I feel that you have found in this person. So this one's lit your fire without doubt. You've got here, for what is the setting up here, is feeling shut out of the situation, and the Star card here. So I'm wondering, two thoughts. Either you both have been shut out of situations in your life where you felt like you've been ostracised from a group, both of you, with these cards here and then these cards here, and in meeting each other you're like, yes, you're my group. And I forgot what the other thought was in saying that. Or you just can't get to this person, I don't know. But the Star card here, And I was talking earlier about the Fool card and Eros, and the Star card is like a grown-up Eros. It's like a mature Eros. It's like an Eros that understands why they feel a pull, because they want to reignite that flame of passion, fire, and wanting in life, which is the reason that we're all here anyway. But the Star card would realise that is the reason that you're here anyway, so don't take it so seriously. Yeah, just let things unroll slowly. Okay, so the theme in this relationship. Gosh, this feels like you could have been married. This feels like it almost turns from what feels like funny fighting, I'm really enjoying life, I know what I'm doing, I've made the best of it, to almost like swimming in warm water. I know, I can see it there. I can see it twice. It has got, because you're coming to like very watery cards here and trying to understand your passion through water. So you're trying to understand this pull through emotions, and these emotions feel nice, but they also feel as if it almost, it's like the reading cloys in this section here, which is the theme. So, and what the theme is asking, if you actually don't know what these cards are yet, is to use this Eros, use this sun, and put it and understand your emotions. Don't know yet. Let me keep going. With the Fool card at the end and the Temperance card here, they're major arcana with regards to your theme. And once again, the Fool card has that Eros feeling of that passion, that life inside you has to have some sort of balance. And the balance here is probably between the fire and the water with the emotions here. Understanding your emotions and understanding, because you got the Daughter of Cups with regard to the solution in the theme, and that is small cup. It's not a big cup. It's like giving small bits of yourself, and there's a warning here earlier to sort of temper yourself a little bit. So your theme has got something to do with tempering down intense feelings, a real strong passion for life. Don't lose that though. Every time I see these sort of cards together, I always think of Four Weddings and a Funeral, with a man with a kilt, the one that goes to the party and he's got a beard and he's always having fun and he's just dancing and laughing, and I think, oh my God, I think I love you. And then he has a heart attack at the end. He's obviously built up in the film, so we do fall in love with him because he has such a passion for life, and that can be quite rare. You see so many people, and I used to have a friend that we used to stand next to the school gates with, and we used to, this is really mean, so please berate me in the comments section, but make it quick. We used to laugh at people coming to school with their kids, and they were like on automatic. I was going to say automated, but that sounds a bit sort of not very personal at all. But they're like on automatic. There's like nothing else going on. Just let the morning be over type of look in their face. And this, if you have this feeling inside yourself, which is awareness and passion, and probably with the Star card there, understanding why you've got it, the reason that you're here. So don't get too stuck on things, or we're going to be coming back time after time, but enjoy it here. Your person shares that, but I think probably through a journey. So they may be a little bit more coy in expressing it, or a little bit more, I don't know, with the sun, or a little bit more a quieter background, quieter backdrop. But it's through emotions that you understand your passion and your fire, and it's tempering this. Oh my gosh. It's funny that you're, oh, I know what I was going to say here. You've got your like problem card is the Fortune card. And yesterday I looked at, what are their names? Gabby, Petito and Brian. Not Laurel, can't remember, Laundry, something like that. Charts, I didn't know who they were until yesterday, so I looked at their charts, and I didn't find a lot of synastry connections between the pair of them. The synastry connections that they exchanged were mainly to me, because there was like a double whammy of Mars and Jupiter. I'm thinking, okay, so what's Mars and Jupiter? It's that ability to light each other's fire. And that's what you two do. So the theme behind this is tempering that with emotions and doing it in a slow way. So it's a slow burn that includes emotions too, not just this. Oh my gosh. What is my favourite feeling in life when I see cards like that? It's like a feeling of awareness and fire and playfulness all together. But your resolution here is to understand the emotions and make sure, especially if you haven't got much water in you, to make sure that those are included as well. But not, or if you have got too much water in you, to make sure that that is the Temperance card here with the Fool card, that passion is balanced. Yeah, it is. That passion is balanced with emotion and gentleness. Not just that. It's slow it down, hold on to it, make sure that it you don't want too much too soon from this relationship. So I'm just thinking it could be potatoes. A potato? I did the reading, and you know when you get readings and you don't know whether it's correct to put it, I'm going to put it on Patreon, I'm not going to put it on YouTube. I don't think it's correct to put it out because as I said, I didn't know who these people were, and the charts weren't what I expected, I suppose, really. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much because sometimes, I'm not going to say anything. Anyway, let's get back to this. Now, with regards to the theme for your relationship, there is a feeling here of needing to balance passion and excitement and wanting to run with things and wanting life to be fun with understanding the emotions, and that some things take time. Emotions can sometimes take time to develop. Your person, I think, may slow down this relationship even though you identify with the warmth and the fire inside them. You've got a balance here between keeping that passion, that fire alive in this, but not becoming too sensitive, too hurt, or too impatient with it, and then feeling like you're pushed out. It's like you've got that rumbling inside you. You've got to pick this person up along with you, but do it in a way that doesn't feel rebuffed when they can't join in as clearly or as quickly as you can, because you are that anyway, regardless of what this person is up to. But there is a strong feeling here. It feels like I was saying in the last reading that I've got a graveyard of matches in here, which basically I light it before I start and it burns my fingers off, so I have to let it go every time I do it. So I don't learn my lessons, probably is this. And it feels like almost like you're dipping your wick into some water in times, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm not so sure what's going on here. That feels a bit like trudging through mud, which I suppose what I'm trying to say is that you could have your enthusiasm sapped at times on the search for a more committed or a softer relationship, which is okay, but take it slowly. I don't know if you're searching for it or they are. To me, I'm thinking it's them that are waiting for you to settle down. They want more from you, more closeness from you, because there's more water on this side than there is on this side. You may be difficult to tie down. My Auntie Pat always used to call people like this, and I'm going to change the one of the letters in here. She used to call them rummuckers. I'm changing one letter in there, and I always used to make me laugh. You know when your aunties say things that they shouldn't really be saying, but that is what you feel like, and that is much needed, I think, in life in general. So we don't all basically trudge off to work with our heads down and forget why we're here, and it's very short. And it takes people to be taken from us in life to make us wake up to this energy. You need to remember that every day and thank the Lord that you have that inside you in such a way that other people can see, because it's beautiful. Anyway, just before I go, your theme is to balance yourself but not lose yourself, to show people who you are, and to, even through bits where you feel like your enthusiasm is dampened, it's all a point of measuring or balancing your it's not fire, it's your verve. Don't take it too much to heart. keep yourself moving, learn more about your emotions in this process. That is what I've got for your theme. Anyway, pile number 3, I hope that helps you in some way. Yeah, I hope it helps you, and good luck. Bye.